first they're complaining that they don't get paid enough money. Then a girl like this shows up that's about to increase everyone's pay, and they're still about it.
Yeah, I think the 3-point record is cool, and I think it just speaks to the way we play offense and the way we've been playing offense, especially as of late, like just fast, up-tempo.
Confident, staying aggressive, that's what I tell myself, but I thought they played really good defense to start on us, and then when we kind of got into a flow and played a little bit more in transition, we were a lot more successful, and obviously Lex was amazing. I don't know.
You know what's crazy? The WNBA finals are set, but ticket sales are tanking. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark and Lexie Hull are out here making TikToks and breaking the internet. What's going on? Let's talk about the numbers. WNBA finals tickets are going for $60 courtside. That's wild. Clark's games were selling out arenas, but the WNBA can't fill seats? Make it make sense. And the viewership? Clark's last game hit 2.5 million views, peaking at 3 to 4 million. That's insane. But current WNBA playoff games, they're barely scraping 1 million. It's like night and day. But here's where it gets interesting. While the WNBA is struggling, 2 players are breaking the internet. And it's not just about what they're doing on the court. You won't believe what's happening off the court that might just save the league. Remember when team chemistry was all about practice drills and locker room pep talks? Think again. Caitlin Clark and Lexie Hull are rewriting the playbook on friendship in pro sports. And it's not just about what's happening on the court. These two are breaking the internet with their off-court antics. Let's talk about that viral TikTok at Swig. Clark and Hull just hanging out, being goofy, and showing off their personalities. Fans are eating it up. It's like we're getting a behind-the-scenes look at the WNBA's newest power duo. But here's the thing, this friendship isn't just cute, it's powerful. You know what's wild? This dynamic reminds me of Clark's relationship with Kate Martin back at Iowa. Those two were inseparable, and it showed in their game. Now we're seeing the same magic with Hull. It's like Clark has this ability to form these incredible bonds that just elevate everyone's performance. Speaking of performance, let's talk about Hull's game. Since bonding with Clark, her stats have gone through the roof. After the Olympic break, Hull's 3-point shooting percentage? A mind-blowing 63.2%. That's not just good, that's elite level shooting.
She's really good. Let it be that. And the other players should shut the hell up. Like, nobody was talking about your league. Nobody cared about the WNBA until that girl.
Tickets are going like blazes in Indiana. Have you heard that rumor?
I have heard that rumor. I don't know the exact numbers, but I think they're selling pretty well.
I mean, they're really talented. They have weapons at every position, so just locking in, we knew we couldn't guard a single person individually. We'd have to play team defense, and I thought we did a really good job getting it done.
But it's not just about the numbers, it's about the confidence. Hull said it herself. When you knock those down, it gives you confidence. And who's right there, hyping her up? Caitlin Clark, of course. Remember that game against the Seattle Storm where Hull dropped 22 points? Clark took to Twitter and wrote, "This is now a Lexie Hull fan account." That's not your typical teammate interaction. That's next level support and friendship. And it's not just on social media. These two are spending real quality time together. They even vacationed together during the WNBA's break. Think about it. How often do you see pro athletes choosing to hang out during their time off? That's the kind of bond that translates to on-court chemistry. But here's what's really interesting. Clark's ability to elevate her teammates isn't just about friendship. It's a key part of her game. When she's on the court, she creates opportunities, she draws defenders, she makes smart passes, and suddenly players like Hull are getting open looks they never had before. And Hull? She's not just riding Clark's coattails. She's stepping up, knocking down those shots, and proving she deserves to be there. It's like watching a real-time masterclass in team chemistry. You know what's crazy? While the WNBA is struggling with ticket sales and viewership, Clark and Hull are out here showing exactly what makes women's basketball so exciting. It's not just about individual talent. It's about those special connections that turn good players into great teams. Speaking of exciting basketball, let's talk about the Indiana Fever's transformation from 1-8 to 18-10 in a single season. That's not just improvement, that's a revolution. The question is, how did they pull it off? You might think it's all about Caitlin Clark's star power, but there's more to this story. Sure, Clark's been lighting it up on the court, but it's the team's chemistry that's really turning heads. And at the center of it all, the dynamic duo of Clark and Lexie Hull. Remember that viral TikTok we talked about? That's just the tip of the iceberg. These two aren't just teammates, they're friends. And that friendship is translating into some serious on-court magic.
Paying Caitlin Clark $28 million. Good for freaking you.
We were switching well, contesting shots, and rebounding and getting stops at the end were the reasons we won.
Confidence in every single person on this team, and I think everybody feels that. We had people so supportive on the bench that when your number is called, when your name is called, and you have an opportunity to take advantage of that you have your entire team behind you.
Let's break it down. Hull's been on fire since teaming up with Clark. Her three-point shooting, off the charts. But it's not just about the stats, it's about the confidence. Hull said it herself. When you knock those down, it gives you confidence. And who's right there, cheering her on? Caitlin Clark, of course. But here's where it gets really interesting. This isn't just about two players clicking, it's about a whole team coming together. And sometimes the most important moments happen off the court. Picture this. It's Hull's birthday, the team's gathered around, and who's leading the birthday serenade? None other than Caitlin Clark. It's these little moments that build trust, that create a team that's more than just a collection of players. And Hull, she's not just riding Clark's wave, she's making her own splash. After a game where Hull dropped 22 points, Clark turned her social media into a Lexie Hull fan account. That's not just teammate support, that's next level hype. But it's not all about offense. Clark's quick to point out Hull's defensive skills too. What she brings for us is a tenacity, especially on the defensive end. Clark said, it's this all-around game that's turning the Fever into a force to be reckoned with. You know what's really wild? This transformation isn't just about talent, it's about attitude. Hull put it best when she said, I want to play with the best players and I want to win games. Having her on your team makes your team better. And that's the kind of mindset that turns a 1-8 team into a playoff contender. And let's be real, Clark's impact goes beyond just her own stats. She's making everyone around her better. When she's on the court, defenses collapse on her, leaving players like Hull wide open. And Hull, she's not wasting those opportunities. It's like watching a real-time masterclass in team building. You've got Clark, the superstar who could easily dominate every possession. Instead, she's lifting up her teammates, creating opportunities, and building a team that's greater than the sum of its parts.
Caitlin Clark's popularity is influenced by her race and sexuality, stating we would be very naive if we didn't say race and her sexuality played a role in her popularity.
I wrote down on a piece of paper when I was in second grade, get a basketball scholarship, play in the WNBA. This is always something I wanted to do.
Two of you have something special brewing. How did you get that three-point groove going, Lexie?
I got to my spot, so she can find anyone pretty much anywhere.
And the results speak for themselves. The Fever aren't just winning games, they're changing the narrative. They're not the underdogs anymore. They're the team to watch, the team that could upset the entire playoff picture. Hold up though, the Fever's transformation is just the beginning. There's a bigger story here, one that could reshape the entire WNBA. What if the league's salvation isn't about stats or skills, but something much more human? Let's talk about Caitlin Clark and Lexie Hull. These two aren't just changing the game on the court, they're rewriting the playbook on how WNBA players connect with fans. And it's not just about their killer three-point shots or defensive skills. It's about TikToks, vacations, and birthday serenades. You've seen that viral TikTok, right? Clark and Hull just hanging out at Swig, being themselves. It's not staged, it's not scripted, it's just two friends having fun. And fans are eating it up. Why? Because it's real. It's relatable. It's the kind of content that makes you feel like you know these players. But here's the thing, this isn't just about being social media savvy, it's about creating a narrative that fans can latch onto. When Clark posts about Hull's amazing game, calling her Twitter a Lexie Hull fan account, that's not just teammate support, that's storytelling. It's giving fans a peek behind the curtain, showing them the human side of these athletes. And it's working. Fans are connecting with Clark and Hull on a personal level. They're not just cheering for players, they're rooting for friends. That's the kind of engagement that turns casual viewers into diehard fans. Now, imagine if every WNBA team had a Clark-Hull duo. Picture the New York Liberty's Sabrina Ionescu and Brianna Stewart sharing goofy dance videos. Or the Las Vegas Aces A.O. Wilson and Chelsea Gray doing prank wars on Instagram. Suddenly, you're not just following a team, you're part of their world. This isn't just about social media followers though, it's about building a fan base that cares. When fans feel connected to players, they're more likely to buy tickets, watch games, and support the league. It's like Clark and Hull have stumbled onto the secret sauce for WNBA success.
More people go to a Los Angeles Sparks game this year than the Lakers. There was more people attending a Sparks game this year than Lakers.
I think that's the reason you do it, and just to see them scream your name or have your jersey on, that's something that never gets old.
But here's where it gets really interesting. This approach isn't just good for fan engagement, it's great for team chemistry too. Remember how we talked about Hull's improved performance since teaming up with Clark? That's not a coincidence. When players genuinely like each other, when they support each other on and off the court, it shows in their game. So what if the WNBA took this blueprint and ran with it? What if they encouraged all their players to be more open, more relatable, more human? We're not talking about forcing anyone to be something they're not. We're talking about letting players show their authentic selves, building real connections with fans and teammates alike. The potential impact, it could be huge. We're talking about sold out arenas, skyrocketing viewership, and a league that's not just surviving, but thriving. Because at the end of the day, people don't just watch sports for the athleticism, they watch for the stories, the personalities, the human drama. Clark and Hull are showing us that the future of the WNBA isn't just about what happens on the court, it's about what happens off the court too. It's about friendships, laughter, and the kind of genuine moments that make fans feel like they're part of something special. You know what's wild? While the WNBA has been struggling with ticket sales and viewership, the solution might have been right under their nose all along. It's not about flashy marketing campaigns or gimmicks. It's about letting players be themselves, fostering real connections, and giving fans a reason to care beyond just the scoreboard. Alright, let's wrap this up. We've seen the WNBA struggling with ticket sales and viewership, but Clark and Hull are showing us a whole new game. It's not just about stats and skills, it's about connection. These two are changing the game on and off the court. Think about it. Clark and Hull aren't just teammates, they're friends. And that friendship, it's lighting up social media and the scoreboard. They're giving fans a reason to care beyond just wins and losses. Now imagine if every WNBA team had a duo like this. Players sharing their real selves, building connections with fans, and lifting each other up. That's not just good for team chemistry, it's great for the league. The blueprint is there. Clark and Hull are showing us the way. Now it's up to the rest of the WNBA to follow. Are you ready to see women's basketball explode?